Hello, and thank you so much for logging on today to SA Talk Today. Remember, if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, it is the Silver Fox Multimedia Studios. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching us on either of our two Facebook pages, whether it is the Silver Fox Studio page or the SA Talk Today, don't forget to hit like and share. Today, I am super duper uber excited. As usual, I have an amazing person sitting next to me. It's Miss Patricia Castillo of the P.E.A.C.E initiative. She is the co-founder and the executive director, and we are here to talk about the domestic violence awareness event coming up on October 18th. So thank you so much for coming on. Tell me all about what's going to happen this Saturday.
You know, I am so excited, Jacqui. It's going to be I just feel the energy already about this upcoming event. I have been to these types of events that Stephanie and Keisha have organized in the past, and they were so moving and so full of love and so high energy and fun and positive. I was just really, really taken aback by the first event that I went to. And so this is going to be, I would say, probably twice as big.
Wow.
With a stage indoor at Wonderland of the Americas and a stage outdoors at Wonderland of the Americas with vendors, selling all kinds of stuff, plus information for the community.
Yes.
One of the things that's so important about our community is oftentimes we find ourselves being stuck because of a lack of information.
Yes.
And when we educate our fellow citizens, then they're much more apt to do the right thing, act in their own behalf, feel empowered, and do something about whatever it is that's affecting their lives.
And that's so true. Education is key, knowing about the resources available out there. I know we talked earlier, it's 1 in 3 women, 1 in 6 men will be a victim or know a victim of domestic violence. So that is really hitting close to home. San Antonio, unfortunately, has a huge population where we do have people who are suffering. In particular, I know we've ranked high in other charts as far as having children in foster care because of domestic violence kind of issues. So definitely save the date. Make sure that you get out there October 18th. So tell me, Patricia, what time should they get there and have fun?
It starts at 4:00. So it's a nice evening event, late afternoon evening event, and it goes until 8. And right now, the last I heard, there's about 36 different, types of entertainment that are going to happen. So there's going to be Zumba, there's going to be mariachi, there's going to be singing and dancing, there's going to be people performing. I mean, it's just going to be very high energy and, people doing positive things. I was telling Stephanie that I think that this is so important where we take something that's about hurt, that's about pain, that's about human suffering. And, she has got this capacity for turning it into energy and love and respect and entertainment and fun and positivity. I just, am really, really in awe of her capacity to do that. And she's taken, some experiences in her life and just reclaimed them and turned them into something good for our community. And not everybody can do that.
That really is a talent when you can take pain and still be able to teach and preach love out there in the community. And Stephanie Garza, we do miss you, of course, here today on the set, but we know that you're taking care of family matters and we know you're going to be there. So the name of the event is Your Life Matters, and it is hosted by the Kickstart CPR, Kickstart Sports, and the Ward Foundation. So there's going to be a lot of great people that are coming together October 18th at the Wonderland of Americas. And be ready to grito because they're going to have mariachis there too. And if you're a Zumba person, make sure you wear your Zumba attire. Come out and just have fun. Whatever you're wearing, nobody cares. But come and bring the neighbors. Make a carpool happen because, again, the stats are very, very high. 1 in 3, 1 in 4. And in the children who are experiencing it as well, they don't have a voice. And it's very important for us to step up up and speak up for those who don't have a voice. And especially when the household is in, disarray, emotionally, mentally, physically, you need to know where the resources are. So tell me about the kind of resources that they're going to be able to hear about at this at the event.
Jacqui, we're going to be there, the Peace Initiative. For us, this is one of the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month events that's happening here locally in San Antonio. Every October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month all across our country. There's events, activities, organizations, involved doing whatever it takes to get the message out that we don't have to live this way. Yeah. We have some choices, we have some options. There's a way to, get yourself to some help. And whoever you are, that's the thing, is that a lot of people also mistakenly say that this is a woman's issue. This is not just a woman's issue. This is hurting the men that are involved somehow, whether you're a witness, a bystander, a brother, a cousin, a friend to somebody who's being abused. And if you're the perpetrator, you need help. Yeah. You can get some help. There is help available. And, but if we don't talk about these things, then we don't get connected to the sources, where this stuff exists, where this counseling exists, and for victims of domestic violence, whether you experienced it as a child, whether you experienced it as a teenager, whether you're, living it now, this traumatizes you. Yeah. This traumatizes you, and people walk around with these childhood untreated traumas that need to be addressed. Yeah. We are not supposed to be walking around with those untreated traumas in our bodies. Mm-hmm. They affect how we think, yeah. They affect how we act, they affect how we relate to other people. And as human beings, we have to be social. We have to be involved with other human beings in our lives. And so if we don't address those traumas, that's going to be affected. Those relations are going to be affected. And as far as I'm concerned, I really feel like all relations need to be sacred. We need to value them, protect them, heal them, address them in a way like as if they're a treasure. And a lot of people don't realize that. We come from a culture that says, "Oh, get over it." Oh, it's no big deal. That's the past, and you don't need to be harping on that. And, people tend to shut you down. People tend to minimize how you're feeling. We want everybody to walk around like everything is beautiful, perfect, normal, whatever, right? And when you've been traumatized, you can't do that. No. You're affected.
You're living on the edge.
Yes.
And anything can push you over the edge.
Exactly.
And you don't even know that you're living on an edge. You think you're holding it together. Exactly. And then you're just like, why do I react? What's going on with me? So it's going to be really awesome. Tell me about the Peace Initiative and what you started with that organization. Well, they will be there.
Yes, we will be there. We're a coalition of organizations and agencies and programs that have been around since 1990. I co-founded this organization with another awesome woman named Jane Schaefer. She and I co-founded the Peace Initiative, and she and I co-founded the FACT program, the Family Assistance Crisis Teams. Oh. And so I took over the Peace Initiative out in the community as a nonprofit, and she took over the FACT program within the San Antonio Police Department. What we did was we used to run the FACT program out of the Peace Initiative for a while, but then the city acquired funding and took over the FACT program and made it a part of the San Antonio Police Department.
What a blessing.
Yeah, and so the FACT program, what they do is that they're volunteers. They're citizen volunteers that are screened and recruited and trained to then ride along with officers, helping the police officers respond to cases of family violence.
Oh, wow.
While they're on patrol. And some of those volunteers also, since they can't work like those late hours, because some of them take those late shifts, right? Some of them will work during the day at the PD, helping do administrative stuff. Some of them are working in the criminal investigation division, doing part of the legwork for the detective investigators. So they're doing all kinds of really cool things, you know, to support the work that our city has to do to address domestic violence.
And so the FACT volunteers, how young can they be?
21.
Wow. So if you're 21 and older and you are interested in becoming a part of the solution to a very serious problem like domestic violence and being of assistance here in the city, make sure that you Google the FACT
program. It's also on the city's website.
Okay.
On the City of San Antonio website and or the SAPD website. Just look up FACT volunteers. And we've been around since 91. That's when we first started that program in 1991. So we're moving close to having put 4,000 citizens through that training program. And this is important, Jacqui, because a lot of times people say when there's family violence, call the police, go to the shelter, you know, get the sheriff, go to the DA's office. In our city and anywhere actually, what people do when they're living with domestic violence, they don't do that. They tell their friend, their neighbor, their coworker, their classmate, their comadre, you know, somebody who's close to them, that this is happening to them. And so our idea behind FACT was, how do we have a citizenry that is informed, that is educated, that is aware, that is at the grassroots level where this stuff is happening? And that can respond with good information. Because it's one thing to have a social worker in a nice office downtown. That's not where family violence is happening. It's happening in people's homes, in people's neighborhoods, you know, where people are doing their daily living. And so we've got to have those people spread out amongst everybody else.
I love that. It's like throwing a pebble in the water and watching the ripple effect to be able to help everybody in the community. Because it is hard for just a city government agency to be the end-all, be-all solution. And so the FACT program really does sound awesome. So tell me, what is the difference between the FACT program and your P.E.A.C.E initiative?
Well, the difference is that even though we came up with this idea, we founded it, we created it, we got it off the ground, we then moved it on. When the city offered to take it over and make it part of the SAPD, we were like, yes, go for it. This is what our city needs. We need to officially recognize that domestic violence is a big problem in San Antonio, and this is the city's official response by funding this kind of services, right? In the P.E.A.C.E initiative, we're over here in the, nonprofit sector, and what we do is that we meet on a regular basis. We discuss the issues of domestic violence happening in our community and what it is that our city can do to better respond.
Oh, very cool.
And the other thing that we do is that we do a lot of training, education, presentations, workshops, conferences, all of that kind of stuff. We've been doing those since 1990.
Wow.
And so we also every October are kind of like the main entity that puts the word out about the different domestic violence events that are happening during the month of October. That's why I gave you that little calendar.
Yes.
And so you've got the calendar of the different events that are happening all across the city. And
it's a big calendar.
It is. And
Thank God.
And that's on front and back also. And so the other thing that we do is that we also have a program at the P.E.A.C.E initiative that works with first-time offenders of family violence. That's called Project Advance. What we're trying to do with that program is get to people early on. These are people that it's their first arrest, and it happens to be for domestic violence. The magistrate, which is the city level judge, has some staff members that screen the people that have been arrested. And if they find that these are people that this is their first arrest for family violence. They don't have serious mental health issues. They don't have serious substance abuse issues. And they invite them. Would you like to take some classes for, understanding why this happened to you, how this happened to you, how you got to this point where you've now been arrested? Would you like to, we would like to invite you to participate in some classes. They come to us, they sign a contract. Okay, they come to us and we put them through 18 hours of classes.
Oh.
I have a staff person, Mary Lou Mendoza, who runs that program. She puts them through those 18 hours of classes, and she also does what we call wraparound case management with them. Mm-hmm. They have all of these other issues that are going on too, and so they try to bring resolution to that kind of stuff too.
Wow.
And the vast majority of the people in those classes happen to be women. So they come to us with this label of perpetrator of domestic violence. And once you talk to them for about 10 minutes, you realize that most of them are battered women. That this is the first time they strike back to defend themselves.
Oh my gosh.
And so you get to talk to them and you get to help them understand this is your situation. This is what's happening to you. The officers get there, the quote unquote victim has a scratch or a bite mark, and they're usually defense wounds that they have.
Wow.
Where and so they're the perpetrators, quote unquote, the women, get arrested because the other person has a mark on them. And so they come to us and they're usually traumatized, upset, angry, not understanding what happened. But we get to help them understand their circumstances.
Wow.
This is why this happened to you. This is what's going on. Have you ever seen yourself as a battered woman? Maybe you need to understand why this person is doing this, how they're getting away with it. See, because victims don't call the police on their perpetrators, and they don't turn them in. They don't want to get them arrested. They don't want to jeopardize their jobs. They don't want to make them angry. And so,
isn't that interesting? It's so many factors that do lead to why domestic violence isn't talked about. So thank God these kind of events are going on, because, back in the 70s and 80s, it was probably going on as much, but nobody was talking about it and having workshops. So thank God that Stephanie has brought us together today with Patricia Castillo of the P.E.A.C.E Initiative. So make sure you do save the date. You get out there on October 18th, anytime between 4 and 8. It's going to be super fun, super positive, uplifting. So children of all ages are able to come?
Absolutely.
Okay.
People of all ages.
People of all ages.
Yes.
That's good. Well, I know there's been other domestic violence awareness workshops where they were like, don't bring the children if they're 13 and younger, because there are going to be some very graphic stories being shared.
Yes.
But this is going to be more about singing and dancing and Zumba and mariachis, and they'll have the vendors and they'll have the resources, the tables there, so that you can walk amongst them, enjoy the day. We'll just pray for no rain, but even if there is rain, there's going to be indoor talent too that will be performing for the benefit of bringing the domestic violence awareness to your community. So make sure you carpool, bring your friends, bring your family, bring your neighbors, bring the children, come have fun, and definitely make sure that you get in there at the Wonderland Mall of the Americas right here at 410 and I-10, pretty much in the center of our city. So I'm very, very excited. And the event, again, is called Your Life Matters. And it is hosted by the Kickstart CPR, Kickstart Sports, and the Ward Foundation. Of course, Patricia Castillo, thank you so much. How can people get a hold of you if they have any questions or need directions?
Please call me at 533-2729. We're there to help, to answer your questions, to guide you to services, to refer you to services. Everything can change. And most of it begins with a conversation.
That's right. So make sure you call Patricia if you have any questions or need directions. If not, you can always Google Your Life Matters this October 18th at the Wonderland of the Americas. Until next time, thank you so much for logging on. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you are watching us on our YouTube channel, the Silver Fox Multimedia Studios, or if you are watching us on Facebook, whether it's the Silver Fox Studios or SA Talk Today, hit like and share. Until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.